Okay, so at the end of your arms, where you come down to the wrist, you might have a little puff left out, and this would be your hands. Now, for the most part, a lot of you guys, you might just want to make mittens out of whatever you have left, and there's really two ways that you can do it. You can take your plastic bag and just make a mitten. See how I'm like pinching a part for the thumb, and then I have a long part here for the fingers that I'm going to fold over, and you can leave it there after you tape it. Or if you want to try for individual fingers, of course you can figure that out. So for the thumb, I'm going to again use those smaller pieces of tape for the thumb, and I'm going to wrap the thumb part with that skinny piece of tape first. It's going to be a little rough for a second. And then on the other side, I'm going to take another piece of tape and wrap for the hand part. Now remember that our hands are a little bit bigger than sometimes what we think. If you look at your hand, you have the palm of your hand and then your fingers start, which is why our fingers hang down so far on our drawing. So for the hand, I'm just going to continue to use those smaller pieces of tape to get that basic structure that I'm looking for that would resemble a hand. And I'm going to keep wrapping around where those fingers would be. See how I have that there? I'm going to use a bit of a scissor. For this thumb, I definitely want to use some skinny pieces of tape to wrap around that part there. To make a thumb. And make sure your thumb is on the right side of the hand. If you look at your hands, your thumb is on the inside toward your body, not on this side. So be mindful of that as well. All right, so I have a little bit of a hand there. If I wanted to make my wrist again, I can take some tape and kind of bind that a little bit tighter to make my wrist come out a little bit more. And for the rest of this thumb, where it's a little rough, you can trim it down using your scissor and kind of trim that into shape. Or if yours worked out fine, then you just leave it. If you want these to be individual fingers, and you're going to be very ambitious in that way, what I did on mine to make individual fingers, see on this guy here how I put individual fingers on there? I did the same thing, and then I cut each of those individual fingers out and then wrapped them with very small pieces of tape. So if you want to do that, yes, of course you can. So what I would do to do those individual fingers, and remember you have the palm of your hand first, is I would just take my scissor on the end and cut 1, 2, 3, so that I have my 4 individual fingers. And then I take these places and wrap them with small pieces of tape. Let me know if you have any questions, and remember that that thumb goes onto the inside of the body.